Let's start on the first game that's going to kick us off, and it's going to, I guess, happen New Year's Eve of all days in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, very close to where I reside, where I'm not recording from today. But we have Miami and Ohio State. Ohio State 9-point favorites. Total is 43 in a Jerry World Stadium they won a football game in last year.
Yeah, man, and you know what? This is a great game. It's a really great game, and similar approaches. Now, I think the overarching points that some people will make, depending on what side you're on, is the rest versus rust factor. We saw it last year with Oregon getting demolished in the game, like because they weren't as fresh. We saw Ohio State come in, the fresher team, and run through everybody after that loss to Michigan. So, depending on what side you land on, it'll probably tilt your handicap either way. So Ohio State's been off. They lost to Indiana, which we called as another one of our good winners. And a lot of things have changed for Ohio State. Ron Day's taken over play calling duties because of the hire from Heartline to USF. So now we're getting back to okay. Now Ryan Day's got to manage the whole team, and now he's got to call plays. And he's going against an elite defense. I mean, this is a really good defense. 7 sacks last week on Texas A&M. The Aggie offensive line had given up 12 all year. So, I mean, they gave up 7 sacks to that elite offensive line. Now, Ohio State's offensive line is solid. I don't think they're quite as good as A&M. Maybe depending on who you ask and depending on the day. But I mean, I think that's going to be the deciding factor. Can Miami continue to dominate in the trenches? And Ohio State's got an elite defense as well. So I think we'll see. I mean, I know it's not what people want to hear, but or see. I think this will be a similar game to what we saw with Miami and A&M. Defensive field position game. The basically the game plan for both teams is to keep quarterbacks clean. When Carson Beck's kept clean, he's really good. The splits between where he's blitzed and not blitzed is like staggering. And their offensive line for Miami is really good. 16% pressure rate allowed. That's the best by about 4 or 5%, depending on where you look. But overall, they're number one in protecting Carson Beck. He just has to find guys against this elite secondary of Ohio State. They're elite on third down, 56.7% success rate on offense. Miami's good on defense though as well. They're top 10 in third down success rate allowed. So like the weakness, and I put weakness in quotation marks for Ohio State, is their run game. And Bo Jackson's been doing okay, but like I don't know how he'll do against this type of defense because this is a really good defense, probably one of the better defenses that each team has faced. Now, what I would do if I was Miami, I would go back and look at the two losses for Ohio State. For the two games that were close. I would look at the Texas game and I would look at the Indiana game. Both of those times, they saw that the defense kind of took control of the game and they weren't allowing explosive plays to Jeremiah Smith, and the run game didn't get going. In both of those games, I think they scored less than 24 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
And the A&M defense, A&M backs couldn't get anything going. They held A&M, Miami held A&M to 18 carries for 50 yards. And I think 40 of those yards came from the quarterback position. So they need to force Sand to beat them in third and long and shut down that run game so they're in obvious passing situations. So I think Ohio State wins the game. I think Miami covers. I think we see a slugfest of a game. First half under, first quarter under. It's kind of filling out process. I like those as well. But I'm going to take the points with Miami. But I do think Ohio State wins narrowly by 3 to 6 points.
Okay, tight game. I'm looking at the Ohio State schedule. The only two teams that held them below 14 points this year was Texas and Indiana, which is amazing that they won one of those games. Usually it's not so good. I mean, they only scored 24 on the road at Washington, but defense played really well there. I think my biggest question is I totally understand you liking the underdog with a really good defense. Why don't you like under?
No, I do like under. I do like under.
Okay.
I do. I like first quarter, first half, full game under. I love both of those because I think that both teams are gonna struggle to run the ball, but they're still gonna try to enforce the run because they know it's harder to pass the ball when you don't have at least a threat of the run game. Now, granted, both teams, aren't horrible running the ball. We saw Mark Fletcher have a really good day on the ground, but again, this is a totally different defense. Ohio State with Bo Jackson, I mean, true freshman runs okay. He runs well, but again, elite defense. So I really like both defenses, and I mean both teams are top 20 in run blocking grade on the offensive side. So I think they'll try to run the ball. I just don't think it'll work for either side, to be honest. So I do like under. I'm sorry if I didn't say that. My bad.
Yeah, and I think they correlate really well.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty much my soccer strategy, underdogs and unders. And this one feels, especially on a neutral, it's almost like Ohio State. I mean, they're not getting the credit for being at home. I don't think the crowd will be that significantly different. It probably would skew more to Ohio State. I think you would agree with that. But I just don't know if it's enough for an offense that, I mean, kind of sputtered to start against Michigan and then took care of business, didn't really show anything against Indiana, whether that was a choice or not. I'm looking forward to Miami's defense and seeing how it matches up. And even then, if Miami's offense doesn't survive, I think we see under. So I think I like that a little bit better.
100%. Yep.